We are praying. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberations in so just and a faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, in view of our standing order number 32, I want to order that a quorum bell be rung for a period of 5 minutes. Honorable members, my eyes don't seem to catch the whip. I therefore want to ask the majority leader to confirm whether we have enough quorum to proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we have a quorum.
The clerk, can you take us through the order of the day?
Third Assembly, second session. Order paper number 79 of today, Wednesday, 7th June 2023 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I want to take this opportunity to welcome our sister back from quite a reasonable duration of absence amongst us because of sickness. And Honorable Emily Oginga, we welcome you back. And I want to give you a minute just to say hi. You can say hi while seated because we understand.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for welcoming me back after a very long time. I don't know whether this would be more like a maiden speech. First of all, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you to God for giving me this opportunity. When I went away, I didn't know I would be back, but it is because of His mercy that I'm able to come back and be together with my fellow honorable members. Secondly, I'd like to thank my fellow honorable members. I know when I was at my lowest moment, I was just having the anesthesia wearing out. And the guard at the hospital came and told me, you have so many visitors. And I just knew that that must be my fellow honorable members who came to visit. It gave me another lease of life. I'm so grateful because just seeing your faces and the prayers gave me the courage and the strength to go on. Thank you so much. You have a special place in my heart. I'd like to thank my family and friends who are also together with me all throughout. The love was overwhelming. I'd also like to thank the hospital. The care that I received there was quite overwhelming. And if only we could actually duplicate that, do that in our local hospitals, then I know we would actually be doing something marvelous to our people. While I was away, Madam Speaker, I'd also like to thank the media or the communication team of the Assembly. At least I was able to follow the proceedings online, and I was up to date on what was going on. And the clerks also, I'd like to thank you because I was actually getting information each and every time there was an activity. It didn't feel like I was really away, but I felt like I was together and following up on all the activities within the Assembly. And it didn't really make me have that gap for being away for that long. Thank you so much. Madam Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity because I know when we go through certain phases in our lives, we experience a lot. While I was away, I realized the importance of appreciating God for giving you the opportunity to be able to move around. It is during those moments that you actually get to realize that there are so many things we take for granted that should actually be appreciated. I remember at one point, Madam Speaker, when I was in the hospital lobbying for blood donation, it wasn't an easy thing because you might think that you have so many people around you, yes, but when it comes to blood donation, then it's not an easy thing because you might have even 10 donors, but maybe only 2 might qualify because of so many other factors considered. I would like to encourage us and to also encourage our people to make it a habit of always visiting the blood bank regularly and donating blood, because I can imagine those who maybe might not have that wide network like the one that I had, just raising just 4 pints of blood was not easy. And I'm sure if you visit the blood bank regularly, I know you have that advantage. You will not go around looking for blood like I did. That is one lesson that I learned, and I'd like to encourage my fellow members to encourage our people on the ground to always visit the blood bank regularly. If you're able to donate, then that's an advantage. You'll never lack that. Or even if you have a patient somewhere, you'll be able to support. That is one very big challenge in the country right now. Otherwise, I'd like to say thank you. And I'm back and I thank God. Thank you.
You're welcome, Honorable Odinga. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, it's statement time. Anyone with a personal statement can raise it now. Yes, Honorable Seth Okumu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise on standing order number 42. Mr. Speaker, I was listening to Senate proceedings of yesterday. Madam Speaker, in the Senate proceedings, there were submissions by different senators, but there was one specific for our senator. And Madam Speaker, in his submissions, he mentioned giving examples with Kisumu County, that in Kisumu County, we have so many MCAs whom he fought for so hard to be MCAs because, in his opinion, they don't qualify in terms of education. Madam Speaker, I look at the fellow colleagues that we are working with here. And we have engineers in this house. My friend, Honorable Gado Lema, is trained pharmacist. And recently, he graduated from the university. In this house, we have teachers like Honorable Awino. In this house, we have very many different professions, people who are learned. So, Mr. Speaker, I feel offended with the sentiments of our senator that, in his opinion, and with reference to this house, that MCAs are so many and not learned. Madam Speaker, how I wish that he brings or he makes an appearance in this house and ask each and everyone who is in this house about their profession, so that he knows that we have very many qualified professionals in this house. And his submission in the Senate is annoying, demeaning, and does not represent the people that I know in this house. Madam Speaker, how I wish that the senator relates with the members of this house so that he does not take them for what they are not. Madam Speaker, the oversight role of this assembly can be well executed by the members of this assembly. In pushing for an extra coin in their pocket does not mean that they cannot practice oversight, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, how I wish you open this statement that I've given to the honorable members.
Honorable God, why are you standing?
Madam Speaker, thank you.
No.
A point of order.
Which standing order, Honorable God?
Order 89.
Order
Statement
89.
of
Can
facts.
you quote order 89?
Statement of facts,
Statement of facts.
please.
Which statement are you going to?
The honorable member on the floor is misleading this house. Madam Speaker.
Honorable God, you are out of order. He's on the same standing order. So
No,
give him time.
I think it was on a statement.
No.
I'm on a point of order. I think my honorable member was on a statement, but mine is a point of order. Madam Speaker?
Honorable God.
Yes. Mine is just a point of order on what he's saying.
Okay, I'll give you a chance.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I won't allow my friend, Honorable Seth, to mislead this House.
Yes, Honorable.
The facts,
Point of order.
What is,
I'm on a point of order.
he's on a point of order.
Man. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for protecting me. Madam Speaker, I think my friend, Honorable Seth Okumu, is misleading this House. What the Senator said yesterday, that is supports that members of the County Assembly be added salaries. But a rejoinder that we do our work, which is oversight and legislation. Madam Speaker, you are aware, for you to legislate, for you to oversight, there must be some minimum education qualification.
Resume your seat, Honorable.
There's no way you are going to oversight
Sergeant
if you don't have basic knowledge of how to. Kariginiana.
Thank you. Thank you so much. They did it, man. They did. Thank you.
Honorable Seth, just a minute. Honorable members, let him raise his statement. And I think I'm going to give members an opportunity to ventilate on the same statement. So if you have something to say, you'll say it after he's raised his statement. Honorable Gad. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it happens that my friend, the Honorable Gad Olema, is a close friend of our Senator. And I see his behaviors, and I know where the Senator derives his conclusion that MCAs are not educated. And I won't allow, because I know God is somebody who is so educated. But you can be educated and not learned. God, I will not allow you to go that way, because I know you are somebody who has gone to school and you've passed so many exams. And we won't allow, in the name of political circumference, for you to support what the Senator is doing. We cannot allow a Senator to demean the educational standards of the MCAs in this House, and you support in this House. Madam Speaker, I was requesting that you allow the honorable members to also comment on the statement that I have given. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, a statement has been raised by Honorable Seth, a personal statement. And I want to propose that I give members an opportunity to ventilate on the same. But you make sure you don't go beyond the statement hour. Thank you. Honorable Nyaoke stood first.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, just what my colleague has brought to the floor, I want to say that, in fact, the same senator went against my wish when there was a case in court that before you consider coming to be an MCA, you must be a degree holder. Madam Speaker, I felt safe at that time because my competitors then did not have a degree during that time. So I was very happy, clapping that that action is going to be followed. But unfortunately, the senator went to court, and hence MCAs were allowed to contest without necessarily having a degree. Madam Speaker, I am at limbo now whether to support him or not, because I don't know what is going to happen in 2027. For me, whether it's a degree or no degree, in fact, I would feel much safer if it becomes a requirement that people have a degree, because already I know it will make some safety nets for me in 2027. So I'm at limbo to support or not support. Otherwise, I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Adega.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to support what Honorable Seth has already given the statement about. What the senator did is not, he misled the Senate House. One, he said that the members are going to bed with the executive. And him, the first person, he belonged from the opposition. He went to sleep with the government in the State House. At the same time, he's claiming the members are sleeping with the executive. It's very bad, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much.
Honorable James of West Nyakach.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, devolution really requires to be protected. And when I stand here as a county assembly member, I expect my senator to protect the devolved county assembly, which is the devolved function, which is the county assembly and the executive of this county. And that is his role in the Senate. As our senator is basically to see the best interest of MCS of this county assembly than any other person. It is very demeaning that yesterday I watched that clip, I think several times, and I must say, I must register that I was very disappointed. Madam Speaker, some of us have gone to school. So to say that MCS have not gone to school and the salaries they are requesting is really above any ceiling or whatever it is, very demeaning. And I really would wish the senator to apologize to this house and to every house in this nation. The 47 county assemblies, he must apologize to them. Madam Speaker, we are here for a purpose. The same senator said that the primary role of oversight has been taken by him. I wonder, the primary role of oversight of the county government of Kisumu is on us. We have it. The mandate is with us. Nobody can really get that one out of us. We have to do it. It is us to do it. He has the secondary role to do oversight from the national government. That is okay as a senator of this county. But the primary basic oversight lies with the county assembly of Kisumu. To insinuate that all of us don't know what we are doing here and we are not having any qualification. Madam Speaker, I hold a degree in physics, Bachelor of Science in Physics, which he even cannot go to that university and pass. He cannot pass. He cannot pass physics, I know. He cannot. I did pass that, and I'm here, and I'm very much offended. We are qualified, overqualified to be here, and we must protect the devolved units we have in this country. The 47 county assemblies must stand this side and defend themselves. If we cannot be defended by some of the senators, because check at the senator of Kakamega, the way he spoke yesterday. Check at the senator who brought the statement, Cheraragei of Nandi. The guy made facts. It was factual. It was common sense to debate on that debate, which was there as a statement. But our senator came from out of the blues, blew everything out of, I don't know, that we are going to bed with the executive. Our role and mandate is to protect devolution, and we represent the people of our wards, and we will do that without any fear or favor. That one we must assure him. He must know that we will call him in this house, and we will tell him with facts that our role and what we are doing and what we have done and what we will do, we will tell him. Because we pass budgets in this house. Who can pass a budget if he's not learned? Really? Really? Do you know those figures? Really? We cannot pass a budget. Have we ever passed a budget? We did pass supplementary budget the recent, I think 2 months ago. Someone is there in the Senate who is confused of his duties as a senator. He's confused. The senator of Kisumu is confused of his duties as a senator. That is a fact. So he should really have to check what brought him to that Senate house. Or else, we also have a mandate to even recall the senator of this county or county of government. We have, as people, we have even to say to him that enough is enough, please come back and we get another senator to Nairobi. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable James Were.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also want to add my voice to the debate. Madam Speaker, if my memory serves me right, I can remember when we were going for our elections, the same senator celebrated that he represented MCS in court, that the degrees were scrapped. So I don't know what has changed between that time and now. Madam Speaker, it was a requirement when we were contesting that MCS should have a degree. But it is the same senator that removed those degrees. So I don't think it is in order, Madam Speaker, for the senator to insinuate that for MCS to be given a proper pack, they have to have those degrees. I know we have the oversight role. We have the mandate to check on the executive. And Madam Speaker, the same senator is now in bed with the executive of the national government. Does he want to insinuate that they are not supposed to oversight the national government? Madam Speaker, I want also to support my honorable colleagues. Let Senator come and apologize to the 47 counties, because we don't want a double speak, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is high time we must speak with one language as Kisumu County. The senator should know his role. He should come and discharge his duties, and he should come. I don't remember the time Senator came to this house. He's supposed to be strengthening devolution. And strengthening devolution, it means he has to make sure that the county assemblies are performing. And county assemblies can only perform if we are supported, if we are given the required resources to oversight the executive. Madam Speaker, I beg to support. Thank you.
Honorable Gado Lima.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On the issue on the floor, I want to register my...
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Seth Okumu.
Madam Speaker, the honorable member on the floor is naked. I think this house needs to be treated seriously. And I think you should not allow him to submit in such state.
Sergeant at Arms, can you confirm whether Honorable Gad is in the right gear to be in the house? Yes, Honorable Ajumbo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to support the motion by my fellow MCAs. Madam Speaker, I watched the clip, and it was so demeaning. For a whole senator of Kisumu County, I watched all the senators when they were talking in the Senate, and I never even heard any senator demeaning the MCAs. And the only senator that came up and started talking ill of the MCAs was my senator. I call him my senator because he's the senator of Kisumu County. From the time we were sworn in up to now, Madam Speaker, so many counties have had their senators going to the assembly, but in this Kisumu County, I have not met my senator in the county assembly. Can we have some silence, Madam Speaker?
Honorable members, consult in low tones.
Madam Speaker, it is very embarrassing for a whole senator or gender to claim that the MCAs are not learned. Yet there are bills that we pass in this assembly. Even right now we are speaking. I don't know whether I'm speaking in my mother tongue. I thought what the senator said is very bad, is in very bad taste, Madam Speaker, and we cannot support that. And I want to join my colleagues by saying that was so demeaning. He even went as far as saying some members of county assembly have 13 committees. So I don't know whether he was referring to Honorable Seth Okumu, who has 13 committees, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Ochele.
Madam Speaker, there's
Honorable
a stranger
Adega.
in the house.
Yeah?
There's a stranger in the house, Madam
Who is the
Speaker.
stranger, Honorable Adega?
If Sergeant, I can show the Sergeant, kindly.
We have a stranger in the house. Who is this stranger, Honorable Adega? Can you name the stranger?
Madam Speaker, one of the, I don't know if he's a member with weekend jeans in the house, Madam Speaker.
Sergeant at Arms, can you look for the stranger in unusual attire? Sergeant at Arms, Honorable Adega, who is this member? Who is? Just name.
It comes from Nyakach.
Honorable Adega.
God Lima, I've seen the face, but there's...
Sergeant at Arms, can you confirm whether Honorable Gado Lima is in the right attire? Sergeant at Arms? Honorable Gado Lima, it has been confirmed by the Sergeant at Arms that you are not in the right attire. Kindly go have your right attire, then you come back to the House.
Madam Speaker,
Can you help
I
Honorable
think
Gado out?
my rights are being infringed on.
Honorable Gado, I'm
Madam
on my
Speaker,
feet.
I'm
on
saying,
my feet, Honorable Gado.
Madam Speaker, I'm very much aware. I'm very much aware of the dress code in this house. Madam Speaker, I don't know why people don't want to talk in this house. Madam Speaker. I'm so much in the
Sergeant at Arms.
Madam Speaker, allow me to proceed.
Madam Speaker, I'm saying the red dress code to be in this house.
Honorable God, I'm on my feet and I don't want to name you. Don't push me to name
That
you,
is
Honorable
disobedience.
God.
Disobedience.
Allow me.
Sergeant at Arms, can you escort Honorable God outside?
Madam Speaker, I'm saying I'm the red dress code to be in this house now.
Sergeant at Arms, we want to continue. Kindly escort Honorable God outside.
Ichanya ka speaker. Ichanya ka speaker. Ichanya ka speaker. Madam Speaker, can I proceed?
No, no, no.
Madam Speaker, you have to stand in order before you.
I don't want to use my powers. I'm on my feet and Honorable God is still. Honorable Ochele, you can continue.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I first have to commend you for standing firm in protecting the standing order of this House. Madam Speaker, may I take this opportunity now to join the queue on discussing the matter which is on the floor. Madam Speaker, the structure of devolution. We have the President, we have the MPs, we have the Senate, the Governor, Women Rep, and the MCAs. Madam Speaker, the intention of creating Senate is to further county assemblies. National Assembly does not further the county assemblies. The father of county assemblies is the Senate. And we are furthered through a democratically elected leader in the name of our senator, Kisumu County Senator, Madam Speaker. By talking of having a father, Madam Speaker, it should be the lead lawyer for the assembly members, Madam Speaker. The only person who is positioned to fight for the right of MCAs of Kisumu County is the senator of this county, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is unfortunate that the Senate appears not to be understanding his role. His number one role, Madam Speaker, is first to know the people he is supposed to represent. He should know me by name, know me by my education background, and know my ability in this assembly, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, apparently, he has shown this, that when he was expected to come here to make his maiden address in this assembly, Madam Speaker, he absconded. Because to him, he's super senator. He's above this assembly. All the 46 senators, Madam Speaker, addressed their members. Save for one senator who is a super senator and still praying to be the governor of the same MCAs, it does not recognize, Madam Speaker. It is very insulting. I was following that debate live. I was in my house following it live. And in fact, Madam Speaker, anybody outside my house will think that I'm going mad. I was foot thumping all through because of the eloquence in which other senators fought for our cause, Madam Speaker. And my day was spoiled when my own senator, the man I voted for, coming up with funny ideas that the assemblies are not, members are not educated. That is why I say he should have known that it is only Kisumu County that he represents. has more than half of members with degrees. A third of members have masters. He doesn't know that. Who has that qualification even in the National Assembly? We have members of parliament whose academic credentials cannot be tabled. And here is a senator talking of members are not educated, that we are many. Are we a flock of sheep? Is the money we are paid from his pocket? This is a taxpayer's money, Madam Speaker, and we are equally paying tax. Madam Speaker, I want to appreciate members of this House that so far I've realized we are very mature, very forthright, very intelligent, and we interrogate any matter before this House as people who have gone to school, Madam Speaker. Now, Madam Speaker, my prayer is that I wish one day that senator comes here, he listens how these members debate, then he will tell us what parameter did he use to say that members of County Assembly have not gone to school. Madam Speaker, it is very sad that the entire congregation of MCAs are looking upon Kisumu County Senate as the betrayer of their cause. That the only man who stood between us and what the Senate was pushing is the senator from Kisumu. And this senator, Madam Speaker, it's a rotten senator, Madam Speaker. He has scandals all through. If you live in a glass house, you don't start throwing stones. Why is he sleeping with the executive? Because of the rot he did in the past. Don't you think we know those? So, Madam Speaker, you should spare us. And Madam Speaker, there's a tendency here. If you become a beggar, you beg me today, you beg me tomorrow, you call me at night, you call me when I'm sleeping with my wife, Madam Speaker, then I can start questioning your level of intelligence. Maybe for those who beg him, for those who do not give him peace of mind, he thinks that all of us are that way. We are not. I've never begged any money from Agenda, and I don't think I'll beg. So long as I'm in this county, so long as Professor Nyong'o is still my governor, I'll never beg him. So if he thinks that all these members are the caliber of those who call him when he's busy in his house, he should give us a break, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, therefore, if there's any format of censoring this senator, I'll be ready to take a pen. I've never talked against the senator. He's a man I respected. And I thought he would stand tall among other senators to defend us, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, he did pro bono when we were campaigning to reduce the level of education for MCAs to knowing to read and write English or Kiswahili. Was he doing that just to turn around and start now insulting those who didn't even invite him to fight for them? I personally didn't invite him to fight for me. And now he's abusing us. Madam Speaker, I think we have the worst senator. And we have the worst human being in this county in the name of Senator Gender. And Madam Speaker, I will denounce him in the toilet. I'll denounce him in church. I'll denounce him on my bed. He is a rot, and we don't want to associate with him. For those who praise and worship him, I wish you good luck. May God continue blessing you. Thank you.
Honorable members, it's past a statement hour, and based on our standing order number 31, I would wish that I close the debate on the statements, but I want to give special consideration to Honorable Lawino to also share her views on the same before we can move to the next order. Honorable Lawino.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would wish to talk about this debate that is moving on. What I can say is that I'm not supporting what the senator said, but I would like to say this before I continue. I know there is a there's interest between me and the senator. He's my in-law, and to that effect, I know so many things have been said and have been done even without my consultation. But what I would like to say is this. We know the same senator that we are talking about now is the same one who helped us when we were in a crisis, and he stood for us, and
Honorable.
Yes, could be helped me, yes.
Honorable
Point of order.
Rakwach, what is your point of order?
Oh.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Laweno is insinuating that the senator whose speech is being discussed today is the one who helped us. I wish she substantiates her statement. We want to know the kind of help and the particular people this senator helped and who sought for his help.
Honorable Lawino, honorable members are requesting that you substantiate your statement, stating clearly what kind of help, who sought that help, and what kind of help.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Now, as you all know, this case was in court. But when I talk about us, I'm not talking about a particular person. It is not everybody who was helped. Not all of us are degree holders and have all the certificates as was required by law by that time. So when I talk about us, it is not everybody, but...
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
What standing order are you
Madam
raising on,
Speaker, I think...
No.
The qualification...
Honorable Rakwach, you are on a point of order. Which standing order are you rising on?
I want to inform the House.
Honorable Rakwach, you are out of order. You are on a standing order. You cannot send your statement. Honorable Lawino, continue.
Thank you.
I wish to inform the House.
Rakwach, kindly resume your seat. Honorable Rakwach, resume your seat.
Madam Speaker, she is misleading the House that some qualifications were needed, some certificates were needed. But the qualification has still changed. As an MCA,
Honorable
you can
Rakwach.
stand on a national identity card, Madam Speaker. There is no any other academic qualification.
Honorable Rakwach, I didn't give you an opportunity. Honorable Lawino, continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for protecting me. But I would like to tell my honorable colleague that before then, there was a case that was up that MCAs were to produce documents. But because of the senator, he argued that case and we were allowed to use our...
Yes, Honorable Ochele.
Madam Speaker, may I just advise my best friend, Honorable Lawino, that the senator did not come out to help in the case, but he was hired by CAF, he was doing his job, and he was paid almost 27 million out of that case. It is not you who reaped, it is him who reaped money from CAF. The same note, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Rakwach, yes.
On the same note, Madam Speaker, let this one go to record. Yes. Remember, the senator said that we are not learned. And here is a member who is applauding the senator for helping us now to be standing as MCAs by only producing an ID card. I'm learned, I have my bachelor degree, so he did not help me. There are several members here who have bachelor's degrees. There are members here who have certificates. There are members here who have diplomas. So he did not help anybody. Let that qualification come back. We will still stand in 2027 and we will win. It is only one person, Senior Counsel Tom Ojienda, who may not be elected in 2027. Take it to the bank.
Honorable Lawino, can you conclude?
Yes, thank you so much. I started my sentiments by saying that I did not support what is said. But what I wanted to say is, now that is the same person, I don't know which word to use, but because I said helped, it is not, who stood with us that time. Is it the right one? Which word do I use then? Okay, is the person who lobbied for us.
Honorable members, orders. Honorable Adega, sit down. Order, Honorable Adega.
Can you let me finish my statement so that you know exactly what I want to say?
Kindly wind up.
Yes, I don't know which word to use, Madam Speaker. All right. So the thing is the person who...
Lawino, honorable members.
Let me just conclude my statement so that you understand what I want to say.
Honorable members, why are you harassing Honorable Lawino? It is not fair. Honorable Ojemo. Honorable Lawino, kindly summarize and wind up.
Thank you. I wanted to summarize. It is only you that... what I was saying is, it was the same him. Can we allow him to come and say why he had to say those sentiments, and is the same person? That is what I was saying. You had said that he should come and explain. That is where I was heading to. He is the one who was hired to lobby for us, and is the same person who is saying another language another time. Can we say that he should come here and... Yes.
Order, Honorable Lawino. Honorable Lawino.
Madam Speaker, I think you should protect me because I also said that.
Continue.
Yes, I know that members know that he's my relative, but I'm not putting that. He's not me. We sleep on in different directions. What he's thinking about is not the same way that I'm thinking. So don't judge me according to that relationship. Yes, he's my relative, but our political careers are very different. I think that is why they are harassing me. But what I'm saying is, I didn't support what he said, but he should be given time to explain why he said that, and he's the same person who was hired, lobbied for us, and was paid.
Thank you, honorable members. Order. Order, Honorable Ochele. Honorable Ochele, order. Order. Lawino, order. Honorable member, order. Honorable members, based on our standing orders number 31, our statement hour is over. Our statement was raised by Honorable Seth. Members have ventilated. And I want to say that I will not give direction now. We will seek advice from other quarters and give a feedback to the House later. Bwana Clerk, can we continue? Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8. Motion by Appointments Committee on the suitability of Dr. HEZRON Makobewa for the position of Chairperson, Kisumu County Revenue Board by the Honorable Kennedy Oko.
Honorable Majority.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to move a motion of the Appointments Committee on the suitability of Dr. HEZRON Makobewa for the position of Chairperson, Kisumu County Revenue Board. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Section 87 of the County Government Act 2012, Section 6 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approvals Act 2017, read together with Section 3A, 5 and 3C of the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022, His Excellency the Governor submitted to the County Assembly the nomination of Dr. HEZRON Makobewa, a nominee for the position of Chairperson for the Kisumu County Revenue Board for vetting and approval by the County Assembly. The nomination of Dr. HEZRON Makobewa was conveyed to the Speaker of the County Assembly through letter dated reference CGKCS ADM 20 vol 5201 dated 26 April 2023. The nominees' curricula vitae and testimonials were enclosed in the letter. On 3rd May 2023, and pursuant to Section 3A, Part 5 of the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022, the Leader of Majority Party, Honorable Kennedy Oko, tabled the name of the nominee to the House for approval, pursuant to Section 6, Part 7 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act 2017, and Standing Order number 187, and Honorable Speaker submitted the nominee to the Committee on Appointments for vetting and reporting to the House within 21 days. Consequently, and in accordance with Section 7, Part 4 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approvals Act 2017, the clerk of the County Assembly placed an advertisement in the print media on Saturday, 12th May 2023, notifying the nominee of the time and place of the approval hearing and invited the public to submit memoranda by way of written statements on oath, affidavit, on the suitability or otherwise of the nominee in accordance with the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approvals Act 2017. The advertisement indicated that the submissions were to be received on or before 17th May 2023 at 4 p.m. by close of the submission deadline. The committee had not received any memoranda touching on the suitability of the nominee for appointment. Further, in fulfillment of the provisions of Section 87 of the County Governance Act 2012, read together with Section 7, Part 5 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act 2017, and Standing Order Number 187, the Clerk of the County Assembly on Saturday, 12th May 2023, notified the public through the print media that the committee would conduct the approval hearing on Friday at 10 a.m. at the County Assembly chambers. The nominee appeared before the committee as scheduled on Friday, 19th May 2022 for approval hearings in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution, the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act 2017, the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022, and the County Assembly Standing Orders on suitability or otherwise for the appointment to the position of chairperson for the Kisumu County Revenue Board. Therefore, may I take this opportunity to thank all the members of the committee for their input and valuable contributions and time during the approval hearings and deliberations during the writing of the report. The committee also takes this opportunity to thank the officers of the Speaker and the Clerk of the County Assembly for the technical support accorded to it during the exercise. On behalf of the Committee on Appointments and pursuant to Section 87 of the County Government Act 2012, Section 9(2) of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act 2017, and Section 3A, Part 5 of the County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022, read together with the Standing Order Number 187 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders, it is now my duty and privilege to present to this House the report of the Committee on the suitability of Dr. HEZRON Makobewa, nominee for the appointment to the position of Chairperson, Kisumu County Revenue Board, for consideration. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the Committee on Appointments is established under Standing Order Number 187. Standing Order Number 187 provides that the Committee on Appointments shall consider for approval by the County Assembly appointments under Articles 179(2) of the Constitution. Committee membership. The Committee on Appointments was constituted by the House on 18th October 2022 and comprises of the following members. 1. Honorable Elisha Jakoraro, Speaker of the County Assembly, Chairperson. Honorable Georgia Baja, Vice Chairperson. Honorable Ken Oko, Leader of Majority Party. Honorable Lumbo Wade, Deputy Leader of Majority Party. Honorable Seth Kanga, Majority Whip. Honorable Jennifer Bonyo, Deputy Majority Whip. Honorable Nereo Kombo, Deputy Speaker. Honorable Vincent Jagongo. Honorable Ruben Rakwach. Honorable Joaquim Okech. Honorable Eunice Alando. Honorable Karen Mudhiambo. Honorable Seth Okumu. Committee Secretariat. The Secretariat comprises of Honorable Owen Ojuo, Clerk of the Assembly. Honorable Herman Moses, Clerk Assistant. Mr. Wycliffe Award, Research Officer. Mr. Patrick Okoyo, Hansard Officer. Ms. Rispa Wewa, Sergeant at Arms. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, pursuant to the provisions of standing orders, the Honorable Kennedy Oko, Leader of Majority, on 3rd May 2023, tabled a notice of nomination of the nominee and informed the House of the Governor's nomination in regards to the position of Chairperson for the Kisumu County Revenue Board. Section 9 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act 2017 provides that unless otherwise provided in any law, a committee shall consider nomination and tables its report in the County Assembly for debate and decision within 21 sitting days from the date on which the committee first sits to consider the nomination. Pursuant to Section 8 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act 2017 and Standing Order Number 187, the name and curriculum vitae of the nominee were referred to the Committee on Appointments for approval, hearings, and reporting to the House within 21 days. Article 118 of the Constitution provides that the County Assemblies shall facilitate public participation and involvement in the legislative business and other business of the County Assembly and its committees. Section 7, Part 4 of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approval Act 2017 provides that the clerk shall notify the public of the time and place for holding an approval hearing at least 7 days prior to the hearings. Further, Section 7, Part 10 of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approval Act 2017 provides that any person may, prior to the approval hearings and by written statement on oath, provide the clerk with evidence contesting the suitability of a candidate to hold office to which the candidate has been nominated. Pursuant to Article 118 of the Constitution as read with Section 7 of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approvals Act 2017, the clerk of the Assembly placed an advertisement in the print media on Saturday, 12th May 2023, inviting the public to submit memoranda by way of written statement on oath on the suitability or otherwise of the nominees in conformity with Section 7 of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approval Act 2017. The advertisement indicated that the submissions were to be received on or before Wednesday, 17th May 2023 at 4 p.m. Further, pursuant to Article 118 of the Constitution, Section 7 of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approvals Act 2017, and Standing Order Number 187, the clerk of the Assembly notified the general public that the approval hearing of the nominees would be conducted on Friday, 19th May 2023. On 4th May 2023, the clerk of the Assembly wrote to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission requesting for reports with respect to the ethics and integrity compliance of the nominee. The committee is yet to receive a response from the EACC on the same, and I confirm that it happened. The Public Appointments County Assembly's Approvals Act 2017 provides that an approval hearing shall focus on a candidate's academic credentials, professional training and experience, personal integrity and background. The criteria specified in the schedule shall be used by a committee during an approval hearing for the purposes of vetting a candidate. Additionally, Section 8 of the Act provides that the issue for consideration by the relevant committee in relation to any nomination shall be A, procedure used to arrive at the nominee, B, any constitutional or statutory requirements relating to the office in question, and C, the suitability of the nominee for the appointment proposed, having regard to whether the nominee's abilities, experience, and qualities meet the needs of the body to which the nomination is being made. Section 3C, Part 1 of the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022 provides for the minimum qualification for a person appointed to the position of chairperson for the Kisumu County Revenue Board. Section 3C, Part 1 of the Act provides as follows. 3C, Part 1, a person shall be qualified for appointment as a chairperson or member appointed under subsection 5A and E if the person A, holds at least a bachelor's degree from a recognized university, B, has knowledge and qualification in matters relating to accountancy, commerce, law, taxation, business administration, and public administration, C, meets the requirement of Chapter 6 of the Constitution, and D, has had a distinguished career in the field. The committee has noted that the issues for consideration by the County Assembly pursuant to Section 8 of the Public Appointments County Assembly Approvals Act 2017 and the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022 are cumulative in effect, and none of them can be taken in an isolation or regarded as more important than the other. While conducting the approval hearings, the committee was therefore guided by the provisions of Section 8 of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approval Act 2017 and Section 3A and 3C of the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022. Section 3A of the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022 confers upon the governor the power to appoint the chairperson of the County Revenue Board with the approval of the County Assembly. Section 4 of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approval Act 2017, read together with Section 3A of the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022, further requires that the appointing authority, upon nominating a person for appointment, to notify the county assembly. In this regard, pursuant to Section 3A of the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022, the governor notified the county assembly of the nomination of Dr. HEZRON Makobea for the appointment to the position of chairperson for the County Revenue Board. Pursuant to Section 8A of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approval Act 2017, one of the subject areas that must be vetted by the county assembly is the procedure that was used to arrive at the nominee. The purpose of vetting the procedure used to arrive at the nominee by the county assembly is to ascertain whether the process of recruitment for the position was competitive enough to grant equal opportunity to eligible candidates, whether constitutional principle relevant for public officers was considered by the county public service board during the recruitment and interview process, and whether the nominee was one of the best candidates that the public service board was able to source from its recruitment process. Consequently, pursuant to the provisions of Section 8A of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approvals Act 2017, the clerk of the county assembly letter reference dated 5th May 2023 requested the secretary of the county public service board to submit to the committee the following data to ascertain the procedure used to arrive at the nominee. 1. Advertisement for the position which was done in at least 2 newspapers with the nationwide circulation. 2. The long list and short list of the applicants for the position. 3. Recommendation notice of the first 3 applicants indicating their qualifications and interview scores. On 17th May 2023, the clerk of the assembly induced before the committee a response reference KPSB/08/05/2023 dated 16th May 2023 from the secretary of the county public service board. The committee made the following observation: that an advertisement on the vacancy for the position of the chairperson was placed on a daily nation newspaper on Wednesday, 19th October 2022. That a long list for the applicants comprising of 28 candidates was prepared and therefrom based on but not limited to the advertised requirements such as academic and professional requirements, relevant experience, required competency and attributes. A short list comprising of the following candidates was extracted. 1. Stephen Umowiti, ID number 1138-3609, male. 2. Elizabeth Akinyi Obala, ID number 7495607, female. 3. Makobea HEZRON Otieno, ID number 145067172, male. 4. Paul Onyango Kech, ID number 104322262, male. That based on the interview exercise that was conducted on 17th January 2023, the following candidates were recommended to the governor for nomination. 1. Stephen Umowiti, ID number 12383609, male. 2. Makobea HEZRON Otieno, ID number 145067172, male. And 3. Paul Onyango Kech, ID number 104322262, male. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, following the receipt and vetting of the procedure that was used to arrive at the nominee, the committee made the following findings: that the notice of vacancy and call for application was only done on 1 newspaper of national circulation, that the secretary of the public service board did not provide the scores of the candidates as approved for reason for recommending the 3 persons to the governor. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 and the County Governments Act 2012, in addition, gives guidelines on how to appoint persons to public offices, which include qualification and experience. Sections 3C of the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022 provides that the governor, in nominating persons to the position of chairperson to the Revenue Board, shall nominate qualified and experienced chairperson from among persons competitively sourced and recommended by the County Public Service Board. 2. Leadership and integrity. The committee, in determining the suitability of the nominee was also guided by the provisions on leadership and integrity as outlined under Chapter 6 of the Constitution, in particular Article 73, Part 2 of the Constitution, which provides that the guiding principles of leadership and integrity include A, selection on the basis of personal integrity, competence, and suitability. B, objectivity and impartiality in decision-making and in ensuring that decisions are not influenced by nepotism, favoritism, other improper motives, or corrupt practices. Selfless service based solely on the public interest demonstrated by 1, honesty in the execution of public duties, and 2, the declaration of any personal interest that may conflict with public duties. D, accountability to the public for decision and actions, and lastly, E, discipline and commitment in service to the people. Article 75 of the Constitution requires a state officer, whether in public or private life, to behave in a manner that avoids conflict between personal interest and public official duties. This article further prohibits a state officer who has been removed from office under it from holding any other state office. Article 77, Part 1 of the Constitution prohibits a full-time state officer from participating in any gainful employment. Article 77, Part 2 of the Constitution prohibits an appointed state officer from holding office in a political party. Article 78 of the Constitution disqualifies persons who are not Kenyan citizens from appointment as state officers. Further, a state officer is barred from holding dual citizenship. In addition, the committee considered Section 10 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, in particular, which provides that a state officer shall, to the best of their ability, 1, carry out the duties of the office efficiently and honestly. 2, carry out the duties in a transparent and accountable manner. 3, keep accurate records and documents relating to the functions of the office. And lastly, report truthfully on all matters of the organization in which they represent. The suitability of the nominee was assessed after scrutiny of the nominee's academic credentials, professional training and experience, personal integrity, background, and qualities, as well as their performance during the approval hearing conducted on Friday, 19th May 2023. The committee did not receive any memorandum from the members of the public in respect of the nominees opposing their nomination. The committee held its approval hearings on Friday, 19th, 2023, in accordance with the advertisement placed in the dailies. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, Dr. HEZRON Makobewa, the nominee to the office of the chairperson for the Kisumu County Revenue Board, appeared before the committee on Friday, 19th May 2023 at 10 a.m. and was vetted under oath pursuant to the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act Cap 15, the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act 2017, and the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022, and standing orders of the Kisumu County Assembly. The committee noted the following. The nominee is male born in Miwani on 17th December 1976. The nominee confirmed that he is a Kenyan citizen and does not hold any other citizenship. Academic and professional qualifications. The nominee did his A-levels in 1998 in Victoria College, New Jersey. Diploma in Family Planning, 2003, from University of Leicester. Bachelor's of Medical Sciences, 2001, from the University of Nottingham. Bachelor's of Medicine and Surgery, 2003, from the University of Nottingham. And Master's in Global Health in Queen Mary University, London, that is between May 2020 and April 2023. Employment record. The nominee is a CEO and head of, he worked as a CEO and head of research mobilization in Mario Stops Kenya from 2015 to 2022. He worked as a CEO, executive director of the NGOs Coordination Board, that is from 2012 to 2014. He worked as a regional medical advisor to Direct Relief International from 2007 to 2012. Professional association and membership. The nominee is registered member by the Medical Practitioners and Dentist Council of Kenya. The nominee is a member of the Rotary International since 2007 income and net worth. Sources of income: Le Savannah Group of Hotels and Consultancy on Global Health. The nominee's net worth is approximately 500 million Kenya shillings. Potential conflict of interest: none. Pro bono and charity work: drilled boreholes across Kisumu County, built primary and secondary school classrooms across the county, donated medical theater equipment to Ahero District Hospital. Honors and awards: he has an Order of the Grand Warrior, that is 2013. Integrity: the committee received the following up-to-date clearance certificates from relevant clearance bodies in accordance with the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Constitution. 1. Tax compliance from KRA, Higher Education Loans Board compliance certificate, Credit Reference Bureau clearance certificate, Police clearance certificate from the DCI, Certified EACC self-declaration form. Committee observations on the suitability of the nominee. The committee, having considered the nominee's field questionnaire pursuant to Section 7(9) of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approval Act 2017, his CV, and having had his oral submissions during the approval hearing, made the following observations on the suitability for appointment as the chairperson for the Kisumu County Revenue Board. That pursuant to Section 3C of the Kisumu County Revenue Administration of the County Governments Act 2012, the nominee is eligible for appointment to the position of chairperson for the County Revenue Board, since he is a Kenyan citizen and does not hold a dual citizenship, and is a holder of at least a first degree of Bachelor's of Medicine from the University of Nottingham, that's UK. That the nominee meets the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Constitution on Leadership and Integrity, having received clearance from the following statutory bodies: 1. Higher Education Loans Board, Credit Reference Bureau, Director of Criminal Investigation, Kenya Revenue Authority, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. That the nominee has never been charged in a court of law in the past 3 years. That the nominee has never been dismissed from office under Article 75 of the Constitution for the contravention of the provisions of Article 75(1), Conflict of Interest, Article 76, Financial Probity, Article 77, Restriction on Activities of a State Officer, and Article 78(2) on dual citizenship of the Constitution. That the nominee demonstrated knowledge of topical, administrative, and technical issues touching on the government, and has the requisite abilities, qualifications, and experience required to serve as the chairperson for Kisumu County Revenue Board. That the nominee was awarded a score of 80.77% by the committee panelists as indicated. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, having conducted the approval hearing of Dr. HEZRON Makobeo pursuant to Section 4 and Section 8 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approvals Act 2017, Section 3A5 and 3C of the Kisumu County Revenue Administration Amendment Act 2022, and Standing Order number 187 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders, the committee recommends that this House approve the nomination of Dr. HEZRON Makobeo, nominee for the position of chairperson for the Kisumu County Revenue Board, for appointment by His Excellency the Governor. And at this time, I would like to call upon Honorable Setokumu to second. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Setokumu.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I rise to second the motion moved by the Honorable Majority that this House approves this report recommending the nomination of Dr. HEZRON Makobeo as the chair of Kisumu Revenue Board. Madam Speaker, the Majority Leader has mentioned the technical aspect that was looked at by the committee before they arrived at their conclusion. Madam Speaker, allow me to also give a little history of Dr. HEZRON Makobeo that might have not reached that report. Madam Speaker, this is one person who has businesses in this Kisumu, and for you to run a business in this Kisumu, you must know how to raise revenue to run such businesses. Madam Speaker, for those businesses to run for that long, you must know how to balance your expenditure and your expenses. Madam Speaker, Separate from that, this is one person who has run organizations, that has people. He has managed several persons who are helping him in his businesses and in non-governmental organizations. So this is somebody who is qualified, both technically looking at his background on education and with experience too. Madam Speaker, the reason why Kisumu is coming up with Kisumu Revenue Board is we are borrowing from the national government. The government realized that they could not raise revenue, and they decided to do that through Kenya Revenue Authority. We are copying that, and for that to succeed, we must bring people who are competent, people who have not had any issues with integrity, and people who have knowledge and experience with matters relating to raising of revenue. Madam Speaker, I believe in looking at this, the person approved by the committee suits most amongst many other candidates that were also brought forward to the governor to choose from. So I want to implore this House that we are not just going to have a chairman of Revenue Board, we are having a chairman of Revenue Board who has interest in Kisumu, who has Kisumu at heart, and he knows so well that in raising these revenues, and if we get all the revenues that we are going to raise from the different streams, then the people of Kisumu are assured of the services that they want. Because out of this revenue is what we can use to make roads, to buy medicine in our hospitals, to drill water for our people, and to do so many projects that our people require. So I want to really, with all humility, implore on the honorable members of this House that we move with speed. We recommend that he be nominated and ask the governor to do the nomination as soon as possible. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to support.
Honorable members, honorable member, deputy majority, what is it? Thank you. Honorable members, a report on the suitability of Dr. HEZRON Makobewa, in bracket OGW, for the appointment to the position of Chairperson, Kisumu County Revenue Board, has been read by the Leader of Majority, seconded by Honorable Seth Okumu. And honorable members, I now want to propose that the report be open for discussion. Honorable Deputy Majority, you are on your feet.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to support the report. Madam Speaker, Dr. Makobewa, to me, satisfied the panel that vetted him on the day he appeared. I personally was there, and I was impressed by his presentation, and in my view, is the kind of a person we need to take Kisumu Revenue Board from where it is to where we want it to be. Madam Speaker, I would say that Makobewa has swallowed his pride to come down to serve the people of Kisumu. Many of you can remember that Makobewa once ran for the position of governorship. It is not easy to run for governorship and then you come back or you come down to run.
Order, Honorable Ochel.
To come down and apply for a position of this kind. But it is because of his passion and love for people of Kisumu County. One, Makobewa comes from this county and he understands it best. He knows what he needs, and he convinced us that he is ready to provide that leadership that is required for Kisumu. Madam Speaker, I have no doubt, going by what the CCM Finance said about revenue collection, I think that it is Makobewa that fits in that suit, in that shoe, that the CCM finance requires. He is bold, he is straightforward, he is honest, he is moneyed, that I don't think he can mess with this revenue department. I therefore ask and request members of this honorable house to support the appointment of Dr. Makobewa. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Peter Obaso.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me start by commending the committee for the job well done. Secondly, as per the qualification of Makombeo, I think they are incredible. And as per my opinion, I think he is overqualified for that job. And thereby, we expect so much from him. And the tax ahead is very enormous. Madam Speaker, I think in this docket is where the county government of Kisumu has not realized its full potential. And this is where we've lagged behind over the last few years. So we expect so much from him, and I believe he's up to the task, and he will deliver. And he can raise our revenue. He can double up what we are currently collecting. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to support.
Honorable member representing Nyalenda B Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also rise to support the report on Dr. HEZRON Makobewa being nominated to chair the Revenue Board. Madam Speaker, if you look at the report on appointment, the nominee has the required qualification for the position that was advertised. Madam Speaker, if you look at the experience, the nominee has a lot of experience that is required. Madam Speaker, if you look at all the pro bonos that the nominee has done, Madam Speaker, you realize that the nominee has done a lot of pro bono activities within the entire county. And Madam Speaker, considering where we are as a county in terms of revenue collection, Madam Speaker, we need somebody in the caliber of Dr. HEZRON Makobewa. Madam Speaker, for us to do a lot of development within our county, we need somebody to move our revenue from where it is to the next level. Because the more we collect, the higher we move as a county. And Madam Speaker, I think that position requires somebody who is strong, somebody who is a no-nonsense guy, who is not ready to entertain a lot of nonsense. Madam Speaker, I therefore support that Dr. HEZRON Makobewa be approved by this Honorable House to be the chair of Kisumu County Revenue Board. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member representing Nyalenda A Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, one element that is coming out very clear is that our county is not doing very well in terms of revenue collection. Madam Speaker, yesterday when we were in public participation, we realized that our county has a wage bill of about 48%. 22% is going to maintenance operations. We are left with 30% for development. You cannot reduce staff. You may also not be able to reduce on maintenance, but we can increase money for development if we enhance our revenue collection. This is why I want to support this motion. Because for sure, if our revenue will be enhanced in a matter that the county will or may collect more than the projected estimates, then the money for development will increase. As honorable members of this house, what matters to us most is the development that we initiate in our wards. So, Madam Speaker, it is never too late. The appointment of Dr. HEZRON Makobewa has come in time when we really needed somebody who will do the work and making sure that the money that is collected from all sources be directed to the county account. It is also known, Madam Speaker, that part of the money that is being collected by our revenue officers does not reach the account of this county. So it is very important that Dr. HEZRON Makobewa put his feet on the ground properly and make sure that if not 100% money being collected from all source revenue be directed to the account, then I think, Madam Speaker, within a short period of time, this county will develop a great deal. For that matter, Madam Speaker, I support. I totally support. But one thing that must come out outstanding, is that we as the Assembly, we are approving him today. And if he doesn't deliver within a short period of time, Madam Speaker, we still have the mandate of replacing him. Thank you. I support the appointment.
Yes, Honorable Ruben Rakwash, Chair, Roads and Public Works.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Point of correction, it is Super Chair. Thank you. Madam Speaker, I also rise to support the motion. Madam Speaker, first, I have to declare that I had interest during the vetting. Because you remember, one Honorable Steve Oweti, who is my predecessor, the only former MCA who stood very low and offered to hand over the office for me after I had beaten him in the elections. He was interested in the seat. Even went for the interview. I was praying for him to get the position, but unluckily, it went to one Mr. HEZRON Makobewa. I happened to be in the appointment committee. I wanted to scrutinize everything and see why my friend could not qualify for the position. Madam Speaker, I got convinced that the Public Service Board did a good job. Makobewa is even overqualified for this position. We only require at least a bachelor degree, but Makobewa has masters. Need somebody who has commerce, who has done law, business administration. He is a great business administrator in this Republic of Kenya. And we know some of his businesses which are doing very well, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in our county, we do projection of on-sales revenue as of 1 billion, sometimes put it at 1.5 billion, but we never realize it, simply because of lack of mechanisms of this collection. I have to appreciate whoever came up with the idea of constituting a county, Kisumu County Revenue Board, to help in the collection, planning and collection of the revenue. With the knowledge that was demonstrated here by one Makobewa during the interview, I'm 100% convinced that is going to do a good job. Just as my friend Honorable Ratib has observed that the wage bill is so high in Kisumu, the only remedy to that is not sacking, but it is just enhancing the revenue collection. And we can only do it through the Kisumu County Revenue Board with qualified people like one HEZRON Makobewa, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we are people's representatives. Even though we know the wage bill is high, we are still yearning to employ, because we also have our electorates, our supporters, who burnt the midnight oils, helping us in planning how we could take the leadership of this county. And indeed, we made it, we got elected. We have to give them back what belongs to them. For Kisumu County to continue employing even more, we have to collect more revenue. And this one we only happen under one HEZRON Makobewa. As elected leaders, Madam Speaker, we need to take development projects to our areas. Sometimes, after we have had projection of 1.5 and even more, 1.5 billion and even more as on-source revenue, if we fail to reach that expectation, what happens? During the supplementary budget, we cut down on the budget and we suspend some of the proposed development projects. Madam Speaker, if at all we can collect 2 billion, 3 billion under the stewardship of Makobewa, we'll even have a lot of ward-based projects in our wards. And what happens? Come 2027, I think all of us will be laughing. Sometimes they say, roads are taking us home, Madam Speaker. With on-source revenue hitting 3 billion or even 4 billion, we will be doing a lot of roads in our wards. And this one will really help us, we really help our electorates, water projects, our hospitals, Madam Speaker, agriculture. We need a lot of food security, Madam Speaker. These ones will only happen if we put mechanisms for revenue collection, and I hope with the stewardship of Makobewa in the board, we are going to do great things for our electorate in this great county of Kisumu. Madam Speaker, that is my submission. I support. Thank you.
Honorable member representing Central Kisumu Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also rise to support the report. And Madam Speaker, I want to put this very clearly that I'm happy with the way my colleagues have stood to support this report, and more so my colleague Ruben Rakwach, who has declared that he wanted this position to be given to his predecessor so that he could get rid of him maybe in the next election.
Point of order.
A point of order granted, Honorable Rakwach.
My name has been mentioned. Honorable Okoyo, remember, I did not want to get rid of Steve. I never said that. Steve has got a family to look after. Steve has got fees to pay for his children. And if there is any position, and he's also qualified, he's equally qualified for this position. If there is anything that he has applied for, it should also be considered. But this one was a competitive process, and Makobewa emerged to be the top. And when we also went through the vetting, we realized that the board did a great job. I think that is what I said. I contested once, Madam Speaker, and I think I got elected. And I have to thank people of Kolwe East for that. And for that, I cannot fear anybody. I don't fear competition. And I think I was the last person to get to the ring, Madam Speaker. But I know Honorable Koyo has to talk that way. Remember, he started vying when I was still in class 1, Madam Speaker. And it was...
Honorable Okoyo.
Madam Speaker, I was just trying to echo what my colleague said before, and I think he even said he had an interest in this race. So, Madam Speaker, I don't think I've not done any wrong to my colleague. Anyway, Madam Speaker, I want to tell you, being resilient in this race is not as easy as getting it for the first time. It will be, maybe, face what I faced. And Madam Speaker, I want to say that I really support the report. And I know Bwana HEZRON Makobewa as a hardworking person, and I believe he can do this job. But Madam Speaker, I want to tell the that is Mr. Makobewa, that he should get ready to work for this county. And as a chair of labor, Madam Speaker, I've been having sleepless nights on how to improve our own source revenue so that those who got opportunity to be employed in our county should not be sacked. So, Madam Speaker, if Makobewa is going to improve our own source revenue, then I really support this. Madam Speaker, the position which Mr. Makobewa is going to get, in other terms, we may call him a debt collector. Let me use my words because I know what I want to say. In other words, we may even call him a debt collector. Because, Madam Speaker, what Makobewa is going to do is going to make sure even those people who owe Kisumu County money and have not paid will make sure they pay. This will improve our revenue. Madam Speaker, that is why I call him a debt collector. And if indeed
you want to perform the duty of a debt collector, then you must be very tough. You must be a no-nonsense guy. But I believe Mr. Makobewa can do it. So, Madam Speaker, I want to support this. But if he will relent on his duty, then as a county assembly, I think we'll come back and see what to do. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and that's why I rose to support. Thank you.
Honorable Ochele.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to support the report, which contains the nomination of Dr. HEZRON Makobewa. Madam Speaker, going by the word of Honorable Koyo, that finding resilient human beings is not easy. And I think Dr. Makobewa is an example. Going by the fact that he was a practicing doctor in UK. He came down to Kenya and vied for position of a governor. And Madam Speaker, it was not like luck was not on his side. In 2022, Madam Speaker, he stepped down further and vied for position of MP Moroni. Success did not beckon, but still, a man who is resilient enough to come for this position, being vetted by MCAs, I think he scores. He has scored seriously. And Madam Speaker, one thing which I want to say, that when God gives you time to live in this world, one key factor, one very fundamental factor, is to consider humanity as humanity. That you consider anybody as equal to yourself. Because you never know where this individual might help you, however useless in the society this individual is. And these are lessons we are learning from our nominee, that pride and arrogance has no place in this society. We must have just to learn how to live and coexist with others. If there's a lesson he has learned, I believe he has learned it. If he's not learned any lesson, then I want to believe that in his 6 months, he shall have collided with all these members. If he doesn't pick his lessons well, then he will collide big time with even the authorities that have identified him. Madam Speaker, I'm not doubting anything about his academic credentials. This is a man who was born with a serious IQ level, got 36 points in class 7, got division 1, principal 3, and so on, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, if all these academic credentials are anything to go by, then I think we have the right candidate to help this county collect enough revenue to redeem the image of our development patterns. Madam Speaker, I sympathize with my brother, Honorable Rakwach, because it is rare to find people who competed and still wish the other one success in their future endeavor. Honorable Rakwach, I think you're honest, only that you didn't pray at the right time. So next time, if you're praying for your competitor, pray at 3 a.m. Don't overindulge at that time. Madam Speaker, this county is deep in revenue collection. In terms of pending debts, as put by Honorable Koyo, as in terms of identifying new revenue sources, in terms of reinforcing the existing revenue sources. Madam Speaker, if he's serious that he wants to do this, then I think we shall be doing supplementary in January. not because we've gotten any donor fund, but we shall have achieved above the target set. So we'll be doing supplementary to add more projects to our dying kitty of world projects. I mean, the Speaker is one person who I know is firm, is strict, and is our colleague. If all these plus his academic credentials are put in one basket, then I want to believe that this county will move very far. Mr. Speaker, I know every member is crying of the low revenue sources, local revenue. And Mr. Speaker, if we identify the right team to help Mr. Makobewa deliver on what he's dreaming to do, then I want to believe that even the governor, with these set dream agendas, he'll achieve them. Because the limiting factor is the resources. The ideas, there are ideas, great ideas even in the manifesto of the governor, and these ideas cannot be accomplished if we are financially handicapped. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I'm praying that Dr. HEZRON Makobewa sees the light, kills all his political ambitions, because if he still has an ambition, then he will not be doing what is expected of him, because if you have to be a serious tax collector, you must be ready to be stepping on the toes of your friends, on the toes of your enemies, and even on the toes of your would-be supporters. So if he's prepared for that, then he will collect revenue. But if he still has a political ambition, political dream, then he'll be here just one salary and go. Just like most of the chief officers and the CCs have done. But I want to believe that he stands tall and delivers on the mandate as set by the governor of the great county of Kisumu. Otherwise, I support the report and I support him. I'll give him support if my support will be needed should he assume the office. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Member representing Northward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for according me the opportunity to also echo my sentiment concerning the motion on the floor. First of all, I take the opportunity to congratulate the appointment team for work well done. Be it that they didn't work well, we would have seen the fruits of our able member. To start with, I congratulate them, being that one Honorable Makobewa, the post was competitively sourced, whereby he underwent, first of all, the long listing, through the short listing, to the interview, and to the vetting process, and he qualified well to serve us in the board. Secondly, HEZRON, Dr. Makobewa, I would like to applaud him, being that he is determinant, being that he contested for the governorship and did manage to get the post, was still determinant, went to vied for the post of the area MP Muhoroni, didn't get it, then came back to the revenue board. And think being determinant made him to at least fit where he is. Being that this one was not a political post, he managed to score well. Not only him, he scored high marks, but among the four contestants who are shortlisted, they all managed to score above the average, the 50%. Only that about anyone who scores the 50% and above fits the position, like him and like my colleague, former colleague, Honorable Steve Owiti, who also was in the list of the list was taken to the governor to at least appoint one. He also managed to get above 50%. Even though Makobewa exceeded him with the points which my honorable colleague has talked of, my honorable Ochele, they all felt to be good to perform in this category, because we found that he scored during the vetting procedure. He managed to at least attain, an average of 80.7%. That was excellent to perform. And to the members, I know what is expected of us is to deliver for our people. And to deliver, he must have the finance. Being that he will be working hard to at least achieve more of the revenue. He will be, at least if he manages well, most of us will be happy because most of our projects will be done due to sufficient finance within the department. With that review remarks, I take the opportunity to applaud the committee for the work well done, and then I urge the Honorable, while even in the office, let him work well as a manager. I've seen that he is a manager to a business called Savannah Holdings. He being a manager makes him will make him work well with the board, with the board members, which are already will be constituted. Being that he'll be the chair, he'll act as a manager and work hand in hand with the team there, so that we at least get much revenue to sustain our Kisumu. If we give him time, I think our revenue will project as the one in currently compared to Homa Bay. Recently it was around less billion, and now it has increased around 600 billion. From 160 billion, it raises to over 600 billion, I mean. So if you give...
Honorable member.
Yes.
We have a county raising over 600 billion.
A point of correction, over 600 million.
Oh.
About 650 million currently, because while before it was 160. Currently it goes to around 650 million on Homa Bay County. So if you work hand in hand, he'll go and at least benchmark with the team in Homa Bay County, so that at least our revenue to raise from where it is up to some level whereby we will get our development projects well taken care of. Otherwise, I support. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member representing Central Seme Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me summarize. I see members are tired. I want to support the work of the appointment committee by what they did. Dr. Makobewa is up to the tasks. One thing in this county is revenue collection, Madam Speaker. All these MCAs are looking forward to revenue being increased. We hope as soon as they take the job, the members will sit down, the members of the board, and they come up with a plan on how they want to increase revenue in this county, Madam Speaker. These revenue collectors and all the revenue team, we shall support Dr. Makobewa. We will give him 1 or 3 months on how he wants to draw up the plan of increasing revenue. We support him, and we look forward to a better revenue collection team. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member representing West Nyakach Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to support this motion. Indeed, Dr. Makobewa really scored highly during the vetting process by the appointment committee, chaired by the Mr. Speaker. And it is indeed an honor for him to serve this county. Madam Speaker, this is a guy who's been doing a lot of activities in this county since before. He has been doing a lot of charity works for the county, children, and others. And if we get him in this position, he will be able to know our revenue streams very well. Madam Speaker, we really have not really scored much in terms of getting our revenue streams right. There are others which are very dormant. I think we really need to up that game. And I believe Dr. Makobewa is a go-getter. He's somebody, if you give something to do, he will do it really thoroughly without mincing his words on what he wants to achieve and how he is going to achieve it. I'm sure if given the opportunity, if this House approves his name, he will really sit down and really draw a good roadmap on how to enhance revenue collection, and this county will go far with good revenue which will be got from the revenue streams. Madam Speaker, when this third assembly started, I think Homa Bay County started on that note, getting revenue board in place and getting a chair, And if we can copy what they have done so far for within this last few months, I think from maybe October up to now, their revenue streams really did so well, and I think it is doing so well because of that board being in place. We didn't have such a like board within Kisumu County. Now that we are going to have it, and the person at the steering of the name Dr. Makobewa and his team, I think they will do a good job, and we can now do projects and any other things that we can do with our revenue. Madam Speaker, I beg to support. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member representing Kobura Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also rise to give my 2-cent comment. Looking at his academics, you realize this is a man who is competent, and the resilience he had during his campaigns and the things that he did. You see somebody who takes something seriously. And as much as he tried and didn't get to his dream, I believe, looking at his CV and being that he holds a title of the OGW, which is normally awarded to people who have done things to the country and people who have helped the country, not for profit. He looks like somebody who is going to help this country, especially Kisumu County. And I believe, judging from the pro bono he has done, he's going to help our county. Kisumu County, over the years, we have been collecting revenue, which is not enough. Judging from the blessings we have as a county, I believe we need to collect more, and we can do more, and even do more for our people. So I rise to support, and I believe, in consultation with the executive and the assembly, is going to perform. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member representing Kaloleni Shaurimoyo Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, judging by the mood of the House, I call upon the mover to reply.
Honorable members, the mover has been called to reply. Do we have any members who still have submissions to make? Honorable Majority Leader, kindly reply.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First, I want to thank the honorable members for their contributions. I want to agree with your sentiments about Honorable Makobewa. Dr. Makobewa is a serious businessman and a politician in this county. And I know he understands the terrain of Kisumu very well. Madam Speaker, personally, I know Dr. Makobewa as a no-nonsense guy. And he's always very firm. If you've interacted with him, he's very firm and very strict. And I think in terms of collecting revenue, I have no doubt that he qualifies. Technically and academically, Dr. Makobewa qualifies to be the chair of Kisumu County Revenue Board. There's only one point I want to disagree with the honorable members, that when you say that the chair of the Revenue Board, you look at it as a lower cadre position. I don't think that is right, because this is a guy that is going to be at the center of this county. So he's going to be a very powerful person, because he's the one who is going to make whether the county will run or not. I all know Kisumu as a county has very great revenue potential, and if given support, I think our county can collect more than 1 billion in every financial year. During interview, I can confirm that Dr. Makobewa understands very well all the revenue streams in this county. And I hope, with our support, we are going to have more revenue, and more revenue means more development. I will not dwell much on this. Madam Speaker, I want to say that Dr. Marco Gubewa fits to be the chairperson of Kisumu County Revenue Board, and I reply. Thank you.
Honorable members, a report by the Appointments Committee on the suitability of Dr. HEZRON Makobewa for the position of chairperson Kisumu County Revenue Board has been read, seconded, and deliberated upon by the honorable members. I therefore want to put a question of adoption that may as many of the opinion that this report be adopted by this House say aye, and may as many of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it, honorable members, and the House having approved the nomination of Dr. HEZRON Makobewa to the position of the chairperson, Kisumu County Revenue Board, I want to register that the report on the appointment of the stability of Dr. HEZRON Makobewa for the position of chairperson, Kisumu County Revenue Board, has been adopted by Kisumu County Assembly today, 7th Wednesday, June 2023 at 14:34 hours, and I therefore direct that the report, together with the Hansard, be prepared and forwarded to the relevant authority for execution. Next order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members. There's no any other business to be transacted in the order paper.
Honorable members, there being no any other business, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, 2:30 p.m.